Windows Defender firewalls blocking Zoom meeting functionality.
There.
Good evening, Andy.
Hi there. No.
Jill.
Jill?
Jill.
Okay. Why?
Because someone doesn't like their handwriting and someone said, well, I have pretty good handwriting. And she said, oh, great. Can you do this for me?
Oh, okay.
So.
I could now because I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, usually. Oh.
These back under here.
Yeah. There's always someone that doesn't show up, so I probably go. What's it, 7:30, isn't it? At Banks.
Called me to see if I'd get signatures for him, but I thought he wanted me to go to the breakfast. I said I would come to the, called his office and said I would come. Found out he didn't even call about that. I gotta get up early for a reason. It is a good, I have to get up early for a good reason.
My husband just sent this to me. Can you get me a shade for this?
Oh. Yeah, maybe it's time just for a new one.
Firehouse.
Oh.
Tape because they got one of those round ones that should have one of the like.
Or is it tape because it's? Yeah, what's it gonna?
Just about to start a meeting.
I'll find you a new lamp. Just tell me what you want.
I can't go to the Pennsylvania Society.
Okay.
My son is coming with my first grandson from Oregon.
That's a priority.
Like it's,
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for getting back, and I'll talk to you later on again.
Okay.
Bye.
Speak into the mic.
could be a supervisor.
Come join us.
Files on my laptop.
Another. The Recreation Authority here, no, but Hempfield Rec might be. Yeah, it's Tom.
Have any extra time at the end? I don't have the files for this meeting on my laptop.
Okay.
So I could run home and get them.
Sure.
If we have time, but it doesn't look like we have a lot on the agenda.
Okay. Are you guys ready? Okay. All right. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Please join me for a moment of silence, followed by the Pledge of Allegiance. And now the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So on our agenda, first up is the traffic report for March. Are there any questions? Any comments on that?
pretty much the same.
Yeah, we're still coming off the winter months. So Steve just told me that he got two traffic counts in today, which will be on your next agenda.
Okay.
So it'll start ramping up again.
We do have, where did I see, maybe in your manager report, McMahon's thought for Spring Valley Road.
That's on your agenda.
That's on the agenda.
Mhm.
That's another item down.
Okay, okay.
So if everybody's good with the traffic report, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Any comments or corrections to the minutes?
I'll move to approve as prepared.
Second.
Motion to approve the minutes by Mr. LaFever, seconded by Mr. Weaver. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Okay, old business, Spring Valley Road. So the suggestion from the traffic engineer is an alternate to speed bumps in the area between Sylvan and Centerville was decreasing the westbound travel lane from 12 feet to 11 feet, slightly increasing the white and yellow line widths traveling westbound in this area will narrow the lanes and hopefully help reduce speeds. Was this the only recommendation he had?
That was his only recommendation. Yes.
I know we had discussed about the speed limit signs that had the posted the traveler speeds.
Those can be posted anytime. We could add some more to it.
Okay.
I told him to focus on modifications to the roadway.
Okay.
And he indicated that the roadway widths are fairly narrow already. Actually, one is a little wider than the other, which is how he can get away with the widening of the white and yellow lines.
So if we take this recommendation, we end up with two 11-foot wide cartways.
Essentially, yes.
Okay, that makes more sense.
And the lines will appear thicker to make it appear
Almost as though
narrow.
there's a median there.
Correct.
Yeah.
He said that it might work for a while, but people will get used to it.
Yeah. Takes a lot of paint to paint that space yellow or hash it or do stuff, so.
You'd have to probably eradicate the white line that's there now because you're going to be moving that in.
Do we have a price or cost on what this would be?
We don't, no.
Can we get one?
Sure.
We do this in-house?
No, that length would have to go through Alpha Space, I think was who we use.
Okay. So I guess, can we get this price before, are you guys okay if we get a price before we make the decision on what it's going to cost, or before we do it rather? In the meantime, I know the residents, and I think you, Mr. LaFever, were thought that the speed limit signs with the radar that were displaying what the vehicles, how fast they were traveling, did some good. Are we able to maybe assess that roadway from staff? Or
How many of those do we have? Yep, either one.
I think Perry bought two that are solar that are out there now. So we could just move them. I think one's further west. We could probably move them into that section at no cost. Or we could buy two new ones. I think they're $1,500 a piece for the sign, and then whatever the solar power is. But if you want to be able to get reports and speeds out of it, you have to pay, they're $4,000 a piece, and then it's $1,500 a year to actually monitor them. So the ones that Perry got are just advisory. They flash and they're solar. For me, I think the easiest thing would be to move the ones that are currently on Spring Valley into that section and see if there's a change. That's just a matter of Mark pulling them out of the ground and putting them back in. And if that works, then we could, well, I don't have budgeted for more of those signs in the police budget, but I'm sure we could find a place to buy them.
Those are permanent, like they're stuck in the ground?
They're on a signpost.
They could be moved?
Yes.
My understanding is that over time, people get used to them and then just ignore them. So to have that much money sitting there long-term doesn't make sense, but if we move them around to different sites, I think they're more effective.
We have two of them down on Farmingdale, but I think we own one and the solid waste owns the other one.
Yeah.
Or they might own both of them, but that was part of the agreement that we'd put them down there, and they've been down there ever since. So I think it'd make more sense just to move the ones that we have. It doesn't take long to do it. They're essentially on a speed limit post, the U-channel post. They pull them out of the ground, reinstall it.
They're cheaper, they're less expensive than 35th, 6th, and 7th police officers and vehicles.
That they are.
So, Chief, I take it that you, in conjunction with Perry, would take care of placing those or deciding where they should go to make best use of them.
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Weaver, Mr. Lefevre, you
I
in
agree with that.
conjunction with that. And then
And the narrowing and leave the signs, put that in the rotation of the signs.
okay. So, and I do agree with Mr. Weaver. I think it would be better to rotate them during the year. If they stay in one place, I think they'll become stagnant and lose their meaning. So, and Chief, I don't know if it's possible I know in the past, I believe like when you guys were using those radar displays, it was almost a warning of when you were going to start writing tickets the following week.
Yeah, it depended on how they're just up as preventive.
Okay.
Education.
So I don't know if when we rotate them, if enforcement could be followed up the following week, to make people think or twice about it. But so is there a motion do we need a motion, or is that something that we can just do? Move this?
It would be helpful to have a motion so we can track what's going on out there.
Okay. So is there a motion to relocate the radar display signs and speed limit signs on Spring Valley Road into the area that will best calm traffic?
Would make that motion and add the lane narrowing also.
So, Mr. Weaver, do you want to wait till we get the cost for that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
Okay.
All right, so I'll move that we put the signs in that area.
Okay. Okay. Motion from Mr. Weaver, second from Mr. Lefevre. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, motion carries unanimously. Okay, any new business for the Traffic Commission? Any public comment for Traffic Commission? Okay. Hearing none, this has been one of the lightest meetings I think I've ever attended. We'll adjourn at 6:10 p.m. We will reconvene for the regular schedule Board of Supervisors meeting at 7 o'clock.
All right. You're on a roll.
We could start the meeting now and catch up.
I could get my thumb drive with all my files for the meeting.
Actually, I might need all this time to get this thing fired up.
Yes, physically coming, yes.